Zach thought he was just tagging along on a camping trip with his girlfriend and her friends. In everyone's eyes, he was only the quiet new guy, the one stuck chopping wood in the forest while the others stayed back at camp. But while Zach was alone with a hatchet in his hand, a purple force suddenly exploded beneath his feet and tore him out of the world he knew. In the next second, a strange system appeared before his eyes and announced that Earth was being merged with other worlds. Before Zach could even process that, the system spawned a giant red monster right behind him and forced him into a survival roll. The monster would roll from 1 to 100,000. Zach would only roll from 1 to 100, and when the numbers finally stopped, even Zach could not believe what he saw. How did an awkward camping trip turn into a fight for survival? The answer goes back to one innocent thing Zach thinks about. Information is power. It can pierce your enemy. It can also pierce you. Zach learned that the hard way. He told his new girlfriend one small fact. His family camped once when he was a kid. That was enough. Now he was the trip's lumberjack. He hacked at branches in the forest. The firewood was awful. He even thought his dad probably bought wood before. Still, he did not hate the work. The quiet forest felt nice. It gave him a break from Hannah's friends. Being the new guy felt awkward. Back at camp, Tyler was complaining again. This time, he was angry about the tent. David said he had been helping Izzy. Izzy told Tyler to calm down. She even offered him another brownie. That only made Tyler more annoyed. Hannah spoke up for Zach. She said he was good at this stuff. Zach agreed to help. He kept chopping while Hannah watched. Then Tyler asked for even more firewood. Zach simply accepted it. Tyler later told Hannah Zach was too intense. Hannah only smiled. She said that was just who he was. After a while, Zach had enough wood. They did not need that much anyway. It was only one night. He started thinking about heading back. Then everything changed. A purple force burst around his feet. The forest disappeared. A strange space opened around him. Bright panels flashed into view. A system welcomed him to the multiverse. Zach thought he was dreaming. He wondered if it was heat stroke. But the messages kept coming. Earth lacked enough size and energy. It would be merged with other planets. The land would be changed. Spawn points would be randomized. Wildlife would be upgraded. Zach could barely process it. He even blamed Izzy's brownies. He called for Hannah, David, and the others. No one answered. Then the system gave another warning. An incursion was starting. A herald was being spawned, but the herald shared Zach's location. Now he had to roll for survival. A hiss came from behind him. Zach turned around. A giant red monster stood there. The system called it Herald Urchaz. The odds were insane. Urchaz would roll from 1 to 100,000. Zachary Atwood would roll from 1 to 100. The lower roll would be eradicated. Zach was stunned. He could not believe that gap. The system accepted Zach's command to roll. He froze for a second. Then, the numbers started spinning. Zach panicked at once. He tried to cancel the roll. He even hit the blue screen. But nothing stopped. His result landed on 96. It was 96 out of 100. That was almost as good as possible. Then the herald's roll began. Zach knew it still might not matter. The odds were too far apart. He looked at the monster and understood. Nothing should have been enough. His thoughts went to his dad. Then they went to Mackenzie. He called himself a terrible older brother. He even wondered when camp would notice he was gone. He thought he was about to lose everything. All because of a dice roll. Then he snapped out of it. He tightened his grip on the hatchet. He stopped caring about probability. He only wanted one chance. The herald's roll finally stopped at 91. The system congratulated him. Zach could barely process it. He had won. Urchaz had no rerolls left. The herald roared as energy tore through it. The system declared Zack's continued existence. Urkaz was vanquished. Then the messages kept coming. Standard protocols resumed. Zack was spawned again. Level up notices flooded the space. The next moment, he was back on the ground. He groaned and pushed himself up. His hatchet and chopped wood were still nearby. He wondered if he had passed out. Then he looked up. The sky was different. The forest around him was not normal either. Zack could only ask where he was. The message still hung in his mind. Earth had been merged with other worlds. Zack tried to deny it. He wondered if it was all a dream. Hatchet in hand, he started toward camp. A rustle in the trees made him stop. Then he saw the trailer ahead. Camp was much closer than he thought. He figured the others had already lit the fire. He called out and hurried forward. But something was wrong. The fire was burning alone. A chair and supplies were scattered nearby. Then he saw a purple beast in the campsite. It looked just like the monster from before. The creature turned and roared at him. It lunged without warning. Zack gripped his hatchet and swung. The blow sliced straight through the beast. Even Zack could not believe it. Then it all clicked. The screen was real. The monster was real. The dice roll was real. This was not a dream. Blood ran down his arm as he called for help. Still, no one answered. He ran toward the trailer, desperate to leave. The beast gets up and after him. It was faster than he expected. Then it slammed into the ground. Zack noticed one thing at once. Once it started charging, it could not turn well. A plan came to him. He ran and shouted for it to follow. The beast chased him through the forest. His legs still shook. At first, Zack thought it was fear. Then he understood the truth. It was rage. He tightened his grip on the hatchet. Then he faced the beast head-on. He shouted for it to come and kill him. The monster charged at once. Zack slipped aside at the last second. The beast missed him and crashed past. That gave him the opening he needed. He brought the hatchet down hard. The blow sank deep into its body. Then Zack kept hacking. Compared to the odds he already faced, this monster was nothing. He tore into it again and again. He roared that it was nothing. Blood sprayed everywhere. At the end, the beast collapsed. A message gave him 100 Nexus coins. Zack stood over the corpse, breathing hard. Then he started moving again. He left bloody prints through the forest. He called for Hannah. Still, no one answered. He asked if anyone was there. He made it back to the trailer. Blood smeared across the door as he reached it. He could barely stay on his feet. His thoughts drifted to home. Then everything went dark.